Have you ever been scrolling online and seen a picture of a Japanese monk smiling with his wife and kids, and you think, oh, that's really nice? But then you see a picture of a monk from another tradition who's in a relationship, and you get this weird feeling, a little uncomfortable. If you have, you're not alone, and it tells us something really fascinating about our own brains.
I mean, just look at the gut reaction here. On one side, we've got a wedding photo of a Japanese monk. And the general vibe is heartwarming, right? It's relatable. But then you see the other photo, a monk from a Chinese Buddhist tradition, also in a relationship. And the feeling is just different. It can be jarring. Maybe it even feels a little wrong. But hold on. It's the same role, isn't it? Well, not quite.
So what gives? Why the double standard? Are we all just being hypocrites? Or is there something much, much deeper going on here? Let's dig in and unpack the real reason behind these snap judgments. To really get it, you have to stop thinking about it as a moral issue. Instead, think of it as a tale of two monks who have two completely different job descriptions. Seriously, the whole reason for our different reactions comes down to history and what we've been taught to expect from each of them.
Okay, check this out. Before 1872, things were pretty much the same everywhere. Japanese monks were celibate, just like in other Buddhist traditions. But then, 1872 happened. The Meiji government in Japan issued a decree that basically forced monks to start eating meat and getting married. Now, this wasn't some big religious revelation. Nope. It was a political move designed to weaken Buddhism's influence, and it completely changed the game.
And that one political move created the two totally distinct models we see today. In Japan, being a monk basically became a profession, a spiritual service provider. It's often a family business passed down from father to son. These monks can have side hustles. I mean, some are DJs, some run bars. But the Chinese model, it holds on to that ancient ascetic ideal. The monk is supposed to be a soul's lighthouse, someone totally detached from worldly things. And you don't inherit the job, you earn it through devotion. So, that's the history. That's the what. But now let's get into the why, the psychology. Because this isn't just about rules on paper. It's about a secret script that our brain is running in the background. A script written by hundreds of years of cultural expectations. The big idea here is something called expectation management. Think of it like this. Your brain has an unconscious, pre-written script for almost every social role you can think of. A doctor, a firefighter, a monk. When people act according to that script, everything feels fine, comfortable. But when they go off script, your brain flags it, and you feel this thing called cognitive dissonance. That's that uncomfortable feeling. And you know what the most powerful trigger for that script is? A uniform. A monk's robe isn't just clothing. It's a powerful visual contract. The second we see it, our brain just instantly pulls up that file, that entire script of what that robe is supposed to represent. So let's trace what happens in that split second. 1, you see the robe of a Chinese monk. 2, your brain's ascetic ideal script immediately loads up. Celibacy, detachment, a higher purpose. 3, you see something that breaks the script, like a romantic partner. And 4, boom. Your brain sends out an error message. It screams, contract broken. And that is the discomfort you feel. Here is the absolute perfect way to think about it. Imagine you order a hot coffee. You bring the cup to your lips, expecting that warmth, and you take a big gulp. But it's iced coffee. Now, you might actually love iced coffee, but that initial shock, that moment where reality violates your expectation, it's almost always a negative feeling. That's exactly what's happening here. Okay, so this brings us to a really big dilemma for modern faith. If the strict model is the one that leads to this contract breach feeling and accusations of hypocrisy, why not just, switch? Why doesn't everyone just adopt the Japanese model and make it all transparent? Well, as you can probably guess, it is not that simple. Because what you're really choosing between are two completely different types of value. On the one hand, you've got this spiritual lighthouse. Its value comes from being sacred, from the mystery of a life lived on a higher plane. On the other hand, you've got the spiritual service provider. Its value is in being transparent and relatable, a regular person helping other regular people with their problems. And here's the catch. You can't really be both at the same time. And there are huge risks if you professionalize everything. You risk losing that powerful sense of the sacred, the very thing that draws a lot of people in the first place. Faith could just become another service on the market, competing with life coaches and therapists. And a lot of people have a deep resistance to their faith, feeling like just another business transaction. You essentially tear down that lighthouse. So, are we stuck between a rock and a hard place, an impossible ideal versus a hollowed-out profession? Maybe not. There might be a path forward that navigates this dilemma, and it's all built around one single powerful practice. And this is the key.
Honesty is the most professional form of practice. This one sentence just reframes the entire problem. It suggests the real issue isn't human desire. The issue is dishonesty, the gap between what someone promises to be and how they actually live. So the solution isn't to just tear up the rule book. It's to build an honest off-ramp. It's to create a clear, respected, and transparent way for someone to leave the monkhood and return to a lay life. That way, if a monk realizes they can't uphold their vows anymore, they can step away with their integrity intact. They don't have to violate the contract of the robe. It protects the individual's honesty and it protects the sacred ideal of the institution. And that leaves all of us with a pretty profound question to think about. In this messy, complicated modern world, what do we actually want from our spiritual figures? Do we need them to be a flawless, perfect ideal that we can look up to? Or is it more valuable to have a flawed but deeply honest human being to guide us? The answer we choose might just shape the future of faith itself.